They are the two most powerful autocrats in the world. They control the largest landmass and the most populous country on earth. They have a nuclear weapons and advanced technology. They have a common enemy, the West. They have a common goal to reshape the world order in their image. They have a common strategy to challenge the West wherever they can. They are Russia and China, and they just have declared a pact against America and its allies. This is the story of how they become allies, what they want and what they are willing to do to get it, and most importantly, how the West is responding. Hello and namaste everyone, I am Shahana back with another interesting video. Russia and China have not always been friends. In fact, they have a long history of rivalry and conflict. They fought a border war in 1969, they competed for influence in Asia and Africa, they mistrusted each other's intentions and capabilities. But things changed after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 and the rise of China as a global power. They realized that they had more to gain from cooperation than confrontation. So they found a common ground in opposing US hegemony, resisting sanctions and human rights criticism, and promoting their own models of governance. What was their model? It is their authoritarian regimes, which they think help tackle the problems of the modern world. So this is the reason they forged a strategic partnership that covers everything from trade, energy, technology and space to climate change and defense. They not only supported each other's interests and ambitions in their respective regions, but also beyond their regions, and also coordinated in their actions and rhetoric to pressure the West. And not so surprising, they reached a new level of solidarity in February 2022 when they issued a joint statement that declared a new era in their alliance. In this statement, they pledged to stand shoulder to shoulder against the West, ideologically and militarily. They criticized NATO expansion and any regional security alliances that challenge their interest, like Quad, which stands for Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. It comprises US, India, Australia and Japan. They affirmed their right to use force to defend their territorial claims in Ukraine and Taiwan, under which both supported each other, and claimed that there is no one-size-fits-all type of democracy, and that their authoritarian systems are successful and legitimate. Now let's take a closer look at some of the key areas of their cooperation. First, let's see trade. Russia and China have increased their bilateral trade over the years, reaching $107 billion in 2020 despite the pandemic. China is now Russia's largest trading partner, accounting for 17% of the total trade volume, where Russia mainly exports oil, gas, coal, metals, timber and agriculture products to China, while China mainly exports machinery, equipment, consumer goods, textiles and chemicals to Russia. And you know what? The two countries have also enhanced their trade settlements in their national currencies, the ruble and the yuan. But why? To reduce the reliance on the US dollar and avoid Western sanctions. And it's not only them, countries like India and some others are also doing de-dollarization to escape from sanctions and interference in their financial affairs. Second one is energy. Energy is the most important, fruitful and extensive area of pragmatic cooperation between Russia and China. China is the world's largest energy consumer and importer, while Russia is the world's largest energy producer and exporter. The two countries have signed several major deals to supply oil and gas from Russia to China via pipelines and tankers. One of the main pipelines that Russia uses is the Eastern Siberia Pacific Ocean Oil Pipeline. This pipeline system used for exporting Russian crude oil to the Asia-Pacific markets, including Japan, China and Korea. There is no limit from cooperating on nuclear energy projects such as building power plants and developing fast reactors to explore joint ventures in renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power. Next area of cooperation is defense. Defense is perhaps the most sensitive and strategic area of cooperation between Russia and China. The two countries have resumed large-scale arms transfers since 2015 after a decade-long slowdown due to Russian concerns over Chinese reverse engineering practices. But now Russia has sold China some of its most advanced weapon systems such as Su-35 combat aircrafts, S-400 air defense systems, helicopters, submarine technology, aircraft engines, etc. Now looking at the relationship and their cooperation, how the West reacting to this alliance? The West faces a dilemma. How to balance deterrence and dialogue with Russia and China. On one hand, the West needs to show resolve and unity in defending its principles and partners against Russia and China's aggression. The West needs to strengthen its military capabilities and alliances, impose sanctions and diplomatic pressure, and support democracy and human rights in the regions affected by Russia and China's actions. On the other hand, the West also needs to avoid escalations and confrontation that could lead to a new Cold War or a hot war. The West needs to engage and cooperate with Russia and China on common issues such as climate change, nuclear non-proliferation, counter-terrorism, etc. The West needs to acknowledge Russia and China's legitimate interests and concerns and seek areas of compromise and mutual benefit. So, will the West be able to uphold its values and interests in a multipolar world? The West faces a challenge: how to adapt to a changing world order where its dominance is no longer assured. The West needs to recognize that Russia and China are not going away and that they have their own models of governance that appeal to some countries and regions. The West needs to reform its institutions and policies to reflect the diversity and complexity of the world. The West also needs to renew its commitment to democracy, human rights, rule of law, free trade, etc., not only as universal values but also as a source of strength and resilience. Till now, I think you have seen that Russia and China have formed a formidable alliance that challenges the West on multiple fronts. This is why they have combined their strengths and resources to advance their interests and ambitions in the world and have shown their willingness and ability to use force to achieve their goals. They have presented an alternative vision of global order and governance that rejects Western values and norms. And this is not a surprise, they together pose a serious threat to the security and stability of the West and its allies. This is what the West faces in the 21st century. This is it for today. Thanks for watching our video. If you like it, please subscribe, like, comment and share your opinions on this topic. Thank you.